A Strangeness in My Mind is a novel by Orhan Pamuk, published in 2014. The story is about Mevlut Karataş, a young man from a small village in Turkey. Mevlut moves to Istanbul, Turkey's largest city, to live with his father and start a new life. The novel follows Mevlut's life over 40 years as he faces both the good and the hard parts of life in Istanbul. Through his eyes, we see how the city changes, how people's dreams change, and how life can be strange and surprising. Story summary. The story begins in 1969 when Mevlut is still a young boy. He leaves his small village and comes to Istanbul to live with his father, who sells boza, a traditional Turkish drink. Mevlut also becomes a boza seller. Every night, he walks through Istanbul's streets, calling out boza as he tries to sell the drink. This job gives Mevlut time to look at the city and think. He watches the lives of other people, the busy streets, and the tall buildings that are always growing around him. As Mevlut grows older, he falls in love. He sees a girl named Samiha at a wedding and falls in love with her at first sight. He starts writing her letters and dreams about her often. But when he finally marries, he realizes he married her sister, Raiha, by mistake. Still, Mevlut accepts this life and builds a family with Raiha. Together, they live a simple life. They have children, and Mevlut continues to sell boza on the streets. Years pass, and Istanbul grows fast. Many new buildings appear. More people come to the city, and the streets become crowded. Mevlut feels a bit lost in this new, modern city. He feels something he cannot explain, a strangeness in his mind. This feeling makes him wonder about life and keeps him dreaming. Main ideas. The novel has two big ideas, or themes: personal dreams and life in the big city. Personal dreams. Mevlut has simple dreams. He wants love, family, and happiness. Even though life is sometimes difficult, he stays hopeful. He continues to work hard, even when things don't go as he planned. Mevlut's story shows us how dreams can give people strength, even in hard times. Life in the big city. Istanbul is very different from Mevlut's village. In the city, everything is bigger, faster, and more modern. Istanbul has many new buildings and people from all over Turkey. The city changes quickly, and sometimes Mevlut feels lonely in this busy place. Pamuk shows us that life in the city can bring both excitement and challenges. For people like Mevlut, the city is a place of hope, but it also makes them feel a little lost. Characters: Mevlut Karataş. Mevlut is a kind, hard-working, and hopeful man. He is always curious about life and dreams of a happy family. He faces many challenges, but keeps his positive attitude. Even when life is difficult, he doesn't give up. Raiha. Raiha is Mevlut's wife, who cares deeply for her family. She is strong and always supports Mevlut. Raiha represents stability in Mevlut's life. Their relationship isn't perfect, but they stay together and support each other. The city of Istanbul. Istanbul is almost like a character in the story. It is beautiful, mysterious, and always changing. For Mevlut, Istanbul is both a place of hope and a place of challenge. It is exciting but also confusing and difficult at times. Symbols. Orhan Pamuk uses boza, the traditional drink that Mevlut sells, as a symbol in the story. Boza represents the old traditions and simple ways of life that Mevlut remembers from his village. As Istanbul becomes more modern, people begin to forget about boza, but Mevlut continues to sell it because he believes in keeping these old traditions alive. Boza shows us that Mevlut wants to stay true to himself, even when the world around him changes. Conclusion. A Strangeness in My Mind is a story about dreams, love, and change. Through Mevlut's life, Pamuk shows us that even an ordinary person can have a life full of meaning. Mevlut's story reminds us that life is full of surprises, mysteries, and dreams. We also see how cities like Istanbul change over time, and how people like Mevlut try to find their place in this big, busy world.